Hi, I'm Janet from Twisted Oak Farm and Gift Shop, and I'm out here in this beautiful wintry weather. And if you're like me, you're ready for spring. I'm ready for green grass and sunshine. Now, if you'd like to beat the winter blues, join me in this video. Grab a warm cup of your beverage of choice. No, I'm not cold. And watch as I use my imagination to walk you through a rose garden. Okay, let's work on this, the little plaque that came in the mystery box. And I took some of the spindles, well actually my husband did, cut them down, and we put little legs on them to turn this into a riser. I went ahead and put Waverly Antique Wax all over the whole, might as well call it a riser now. And then I took some white chalk paint and just went over it, but I didn't want a full coverage. So now what I'm going to do is take some IOD transfers, which I was going through the book. Let's see, what book is this? This is Rose Botanical. And if you hear meowing, that is Charlie in the background. I picked out these here. I cut them up to where I want them. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to figure out where I want these leaves. I know I want the roses right about here. Probably put the leaves right about there. I think I'll cut some of them off. What I'm going to do is start with the leaves first. So I'm going to peel this backing off. Position the leaves about where I think I want them. And I'm taking the transfer stick and rubbing it. Now, the best thing to do is to coat this first. I did not. So the paint does have a sealer in it though, so I'm hoping that'll work. We're going to find out together here. I'm going to rub the transfer all over. And what I like to do is once I rub it all over, I start just grabbing a piece, get it so you can see it, and kind of rubbing and lifting at the same time. If you happen to pull it off and you see a piece that didn't transfer, you can just put it back on there and rub it again. This looks like it's coming off nice and smooth. Perfect. And then I'm just going to take the vellum or whatever the cover is and rub it. Next, I'm going to take the flowers, these beautiful roses. I think I want them right about there. So we're going to do the same thing I did with the leaves. Gonna give this a good rub all over. And as you can see, I layered it right over the leaves. And voila. Oh, it's so pretty. Doing this is burnishing the transfer into the item, the wood here. I'm just going to peel that little bit off there. Now I want to fill in a little bit of spots here. So you can cut these transfers up and use them any way you want to. I just want to fill that little hole right there. Oh, that came up nice. That's what it's looking like so far. Now the book also has words in it, and this is, however you say it, Rosier Pompon. I'm assuming it's maybe the French name of the flower, of the rose. I'm going to put that, I think, right up here on top. I love working with transfers. Look how easy that came off. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to add to it. There's so many beautiful flowers in this book. I could just keep adding and adding, but I think this will be good. This is going to go in the vignette for that'll go in our suitcase. So this is where I'm going to leave this for now. What I will not show on camera is I'm just going to go over it with probably some Big Top, because even though the paint has a sealer in it, I used, I think it was Fusion Snowflake, something like that, snow something. But the transfer needs to be sealed in. So I'll go over that with either wax or I might just do wax on this, I think, clear wax. And this will be done. Okay, so I thought I was recording, and apparently not. When I looked up at the camera, it was off. So you missed the part where I painted the house, and I put this really pretty rose decoupage paper from Roycycle Treasures, which was in the Sonnets Maker box this month, so it's an exclusive paper. But that covers the roof. And then you can see I added transfers to the front of it, and at the end, which is not shown, I pound a nail, an old vintage nail into the top for a chimney. Okay, here I'm finishing off this house with DIY's clear wax. I'm putting it on the entire project. Really, the only thing that I needed to cover were the transfers, because everything else I used the DIY cottage colors on, and they have a built-in sealer. But to give everything the same look, I just covered the whole house, including that really pretty paper on top, which you're going to see that up close in the next project. Okay, remember the wood lantern that was all painted white? Well, what I did was painted the inside and all the trim on the edges with DIY's cottage color in vintage pink. And then I painted the middle bars in white, which I believe I used Fusion's I never remember this, snowflake or something like that. And now what I'm doing is I'm using that same pretty rose paper from Roycycle. And again, that's exclusive to Sonnet's Maker's Box this month. And I'm using DIY's liquid patina and putting it on. And then what I'll do after I get that all applied, I spray the paper with water. Well, I guess I already sprayed the paper with water. That helps it to stretch out and prevent wrinkles. And then I position it to exactly where I want it. And I'm going to do this with all of the bars on each side that's painted white. And then I'll go back and seal them, each one. Once it's completely dry, I take my little hand sander, finger sander, and sand off any of the excess paper. Okay, I'm going to wrap up the video right here. I will show you at the end what the finished project looks like. I put the decoupage paper on all four sides. I distressed it, and then I used some Tim Holtz distressing ink and went around the edges just to give it a little more of a vintage look. Now, if you're looking for products, the DIY products that I've shown in this video are all available on our website, Twisted Oak Farm and giftshop.com. I carry the cottage colors, the DIY colors, the liquid patinas, the big top paintbrushes. I also carry Roy Cycles papers and Connie lines and designs. Now, as I said before, this paper by Roy Cycle was exclusive to Sonnet's Maker Box, so I do not have that on the website, but I do have a lot of other wonderful pieces, so come check us out. I painted the outside of the suitcase with DIY's Cottage Color Pacific. I painted the inside with DIY Cottage Color Vintage Pink. The paper inside, this is Rose Garden. That is a Connie Lines and Designs exclusive to Sonnet's Maker's Box. And then I added a few other embellishments, which I actually took some of Roy Cycle's papers and put little passport samples on it. Nothing says rose garden quite like tea and crumpets, lingering a while and taking in every lovely detail.